Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome to the morning briefing here on the Friedman Adventures YouTube channel. We have got so much to talk about. More warm water getting flushed up the Baja coast, another disturbance going by Cabo San Lucas, and that's going to keep that south swell and all that warm water and hopefully more tropical and subtropical fish headed toward Southern California. The tuna bite, I told you yesterday, is really starting to come on for the one-day boats out of San Diego, kind of transitioning from Dorado to tuna. Well, not entirely. We'll talk more about that. Joseph Martinez, the guy that caught the 315-pound bluefin tuna on the Endeavor up there out of Ventura Harbor Sport Fishing, will be joining us live on Tuesday night on Friedman Adventures live podcast. That's going to be very, very exciting. Huge scores of Dorado for the Dana Wharf boats and elsewhere. My son Philip out private boater fishing and having great success, and so much more. Welcome everybody and good morning to you. This is the morning briefing. Hey, it is great to be with you all, and we've got so much to talk to you about. There are so many great things going on in sport fishing right now, and you're going to want to get out on a boat as soon as possible because the bite is on, and I think it's only going to get better as we move into the fall and our better weather months. Let's check in with my friend Sean Morgan to start it off. I always love his commentary. He was off Dana Wharf yesterday. Let's take a listen to Sean and check out this video right now.
Look at the Dorado. Just millions of Dorado here. Oh, we got one hooked up. Oh, good. Oh, here we go. Good cast. Get ready. Your bit.
Wow. Millions of Dorado, as Sean said. And that certainly is the case. It's really not an over-exaggeration. There are so many of these colorful, acrobatic, great-eating fish. Dorado live at the most 5 years, most of the time about 2 to 3 years, so you can see how fast they grow. You get a 50, 60-pound bull, and that's going to be a fish that's about 3 years old. Their spawning cycles are numerous throughout the year. They lay about 100,000 to 1 million eggs, so that's why there's so many of those little devils around. And estimates in terms of how fast they are, 40 to 60 miles per hour. They are speedy little devils and lots of fun to catch. All right, let's get south of the border and talk about what is going on down there right now. First of all, do your own risk assessment on whether or not it's safe to cross the border. I say yes, no problem right now, but you know, things happen, so do your own risk assessment. I think that more than likely, in terms of statistics, you're going to have more problems on the freeway going to Baja than you're going to actually have as a tourist in Baja, staying in the zones that you're supposed to stay in. So I don't think there's any problem at all right now. Ensenada, wow, I tell you, the Pongueros down there are having excellent fishing. They are venturing out, finding kelp patties that have Dorado, yellowtail. They are seeing a lot of striped marlin down there in that neck of the woods. And as I told you yesterday, they started to catch more and more yellowfin tuna, more and more bluefin tuna again. It's starting to bite, especially the YFT. We're seeing some very good scores on the Ponguero fleet out of Ensenada. So if you're headed down that way, you could have a lot of fun right now. And I think this fall, you're going to see a lot of yellowfin tuna. There's that 5 to 10 pound yellowfin, then there's fish to 50 pounds starting to bite also. So you got a mix in terms of the size, and it's finally starting to kick into gear. Finally starting to bite down there south of the border. And of course, that's just a preview of what we've got headed to Southern California, I think, especially as that Cabo disturbance pushes more warm water up this way. There's no science to support what I'm saying about fish moving up, but the empirical data seems to reflect the fact that when we see this kind of push, this south swell, we see more tropical and subtropical fish. So that's the conclusion that I'm drawing, however, non-scientific. So we are seeing really good fishing south of the border, and it is looking better and better all the time. Incidentally, Amigo, August 31st, 2-day trip, $695, includes all your meals, limited to only 14 people, only 2 spots left. You better hurry and send me a text, 657-227-6459. If you want on that trip, you better grab those last 2 spots. And then we've got 2 spots, or 2 trips, I should say, on the Pride, one in September, one in October. You want information on that, just send me a text. I'll get you tuned up right away. All right, we can jump now from the Ensenada area up to San Diego, and you know there's an overlap here. Boats are fishing the same areas, but we are seeing the same kind of thing. First of all, overnight boats that are fishing down the Baja coast and some in U.S. waters are still finding kelps loaded with Dorado, and they're finding kelps that are not loaded with Dorado, where you pick off 1 or 2 or 3 fish, as we did on the Malihini on our Friedman Adventures trip just a few days ago. It's still all about finding that lucky kelp. When you do, you get well in a hurry. Otherwise, you're scratching and you're praying to find that kelp that's holding Dorado. But it seems to me like a lot of the boats down in San Diego are starting to turn their attention to the tuna zone a lot more. Overnight boats had similar types of experiences as to what I just described. And I'm talking about guys that got Dorado, found that kelp, it's wide open, they're done in an hour or less. 5 to 10 pound Dorado still in there, but fish to 20 pounds still in there also, biting a good hot bait and even biting chunk bait in some cases. Some guys have been trying that on private boats, chunking up a sardine, and they are biting at full speed. So that is something you might want to try one of these times. When the bite is finicky, you have to drop your fluorocarbon down. www.opsonusa.com. Put in FA at checkout. Get a free gift and a handwritten note from Greg Brown. You might want to drop down to 20 pound. Drop your hook size down. You're using blacktail hooks, as we like to use. You drop down to a number 2 size hook. Maybe at largest a 1.0 when it's fired up and biting full speed, a 5.0. So you've got to observe what is going on from kelp patty to kelp patty. That makes you a big player in this drama. This gives you an edge if you're watching, paying attention. You see that there's not a lot of Dorado on this kelp, that they're not biting that well. You grab your lighter outfit and toss a bait out there and see if you can't get a bite. So overnight boats out of San Diego with that kind of fishing going on. Some guys getting really, really well and some others not so well. The San Diego is one of those boats. Yesterday started to get a better piece of the tuna, and they come through again with a nice score. 43 yellowfin tuna. See what I'm telling you? This yellowfin is starting to go. It's only going to get better as we get into our better weather months here. And they also had 11 on the bluefin tuna. The Grande with 35 guys, and San Diego with a similar amount of guys. 4 Dorado, 24 yellowfin tuna, 17 bluefin tuna. We're starting to see kind of a change right now. I'm not saying the Dorado out of the picture. There's too many of them. They're like fleas right now. They're everywhere. So they're always going to be in the picture, or not always, but for the foreseeable future, going to be in the picture. However, it's nice to see this yellowfin starting to turn on. It's nice to see that bluefin starting to turn on, and it's moving up the coast and should join the party up here in SoCal really, really soon. We've seen yellowfin in Southern California for weeks now, but as usual, early season YFT move in. They need to acclimate. They're not really, you know, thrilled with their new environment, and they need to settle, and we're starting to see that settle and that bite starting to come on right now. That is great news and high hopes that it's going to continue to head in the right direction. And same thing when you get a stop on the yellowfin tuna, you slide on a breezer, same thing. You've got to gauge the bite. Is it wide open? Go to the heavy. Is it really finicky? Get your light stuff out. And always take your time and choose a good hot bait. That's going to make all the difference in the world. Speaking of bluefin, let me take you up between Catalina and San Clemente, up there around Northwest Harbor. Boats that are fishing the night up there, long-range boats, and several others are slamming the fish. Really great scores at night. Not for everybody, there's some misses, but really, really good. Knife jigs seem to be working best. 250 grams have been very effective, but if you get wind and current, you have to go up from there. And of course, I can't wait. All of you will get a chance to talk to Joseph Martinez, ask him questions. How did you catch that 350 pounder? What did you use? What kind of tackle did you use? We'll get into all of that with him. And also, Chef Jason will be joining us. It'll be great to have him on board. He can talk great ways to prepare your fish, as well as he is an avid fisherman. And Anthony Amalfitano joining the Friedman Adventures crew. Anthony's had some private boat experiences. He was recently out on the Amigo, and he's got some great suggestions on how to use Daiwa gear and what gear is appropriate for the bite that we're looking at. So Tuesday Night Live is going to be a great show. Can't wait to bring you that one. I'm really looking forward to it. My son Philip and Travis Strain. Travis, good morning to you. Always good to see you, my friend. He is an avid supporter of Friedman Adventures. Travis, you've got all my thanks. They were out and they hit some kelps on their way to fish between Clemente and Catalina yesterday. Came up with 4 nice Dorado and a nice big yellowtail on the kelps. Saw lots of fish, but they were kind of straight line and trying to get to that BFT area, and they're glad they did. 5 bluefin tuna for them. They got hung up in a 2-hour battle on one of those bluefin tuna, about 190 pounder, a couple other fish over 100. Really great private boater fishing going on right now. I'm happy for my son Philip and Travis and the rest of the folks that were on that trip. Really marvelous fishing going on for private boaters right now. It doesn't get much better, and I'm waiting for my bluefin, Philip. Philip, wake up! Get over here with my bluefin tuna. All right, everybody, and we take you now into the local scene. And when I say local, I'm talking just offshore, off of Dana and areas like that. We're still offshore, however. And what a trip on the Clemente out of Dana Wharf sport fishing. Does it get any better? I'm guessing they hooked close to 200 Dorado yesterday. That's right, 200 Dorado to put 109 Dorado on the boat. That is a tremendous day's fishing. On a 3/4 day boat, it makes it even more spectacular. These acrobatic, jumping, colorful fish putting on a show, providing such excellent table fare at the end of it. I mean, you know they're going to lose a lot of fish because Dorado are super speedy. Remember I said they can reach speeds by some estimates as up to 60 miles per hour. That is really incredible. So they're zipping all around and jumping out of the water, and you got tangles going on, and they still manage to put on a really excellent day's fishing. Gary Kwan from Taddy Lures was on a recent trip on board the Clemente also and caught some big quality, beautiful Dorado. Gary, you got all my best. Gary's a real fine gentleman from Taddy Lures and shares so much information, willing to share his expertise and his love of the sport with people that are new and coming in. Love it. And Gary had a spectacular trip also. So some really great fishing going on, no question about it. The crew on the Clemente were just as super high as you can imagine, and we are thinking that this is just the beginning of more big things to come. This fish is here, it's starting to bite. Yellowfin are going to join the party. Wow, what a fall we are setting up for. It is looking as good as you could possibly want it. San Mateo out of Dana Wharf with 38 Dorado. So there is some really good fishing going on, no question about it. You look at the Native Sun, they had a charter, 15 guys out of 22nd Street, 63 Dorado, the pursuit in on it. A lot of these local guys are getting in on the fish, and boats going to and fro Catalina Island are subject to finding a kelp at any point in time on their travels. That is really great stuff, and we are so stoked to see that happening. So same thing applies. You got to have a couple of rods ready to go. You got to have a little heavier one, 25-30 pound, and you got to have a 20 pound in case those fish are finicky. Fish fluorocarbon, drop your hook size down, blacktail hooks down if you have to. The best way to do this is to have 2 rods at least. I know a lot of you guys have 6 rods, but I'm talking about novice guys who are coming in. Make sure you have at least 2. And don't be shy about using a spinning reel on these bites. Man, I mean, a long cast with your sardine or anchovy right now is the key to getting a bite, and a spinning reel can help you get it done. Daiwa has so many great products, reasonably priced, with, you know, a ton of drag. You don't have to worry about that on these Dorado or yellows on the kelps. They are perfect, And don't be ashamed about that. That stigma has got to go away. So many parts of our world use spinning reels, and I'm telling you, you will outcast guys who've been in the game a lot longer with a spinner and get bit. So don't be afraid to do that. The Pride, by the way, was at San Clemente Island and had decent yellowtail fishing, nice grade fish, wide open calico bass fishing, and they had very little time, found a kelp, hooked I think about 10 Dorado and put 5 on board. So I mean, as Sean Roberts said, he said, you know, one-day trip and we can catch yellowtail, calico bass, Dorado, you know, possibility of a marlin. It's really incredible fishing going on in SoCal. Can't wait to fish with Sean. 2-day trips. You give Sean 2 days. And look out on the Pride, September and October. You can go in the show description right now and see the trips we have left. Only 3 more to go. I hope you can join us. It should be a lot of fun. So really some good stuff going on. All right, let me take you down to the islands, Todos Santos. Lots of yellows moving in there off Ensenada. There is some very good fishing going on. The Coronado Islands, once again, really overlooked this year. There's spectacular fishing going on. If it wasn't for all this Dorado and now yellowfin and everything else moving in, we'd be all over the Coronado Islands. It's a great place to catch from 30 to 70 yellows right now and get a good shot of barracuda and catch a bunch of calico bass and whitefish. Coronado Islands are on. San Clemente, Sean looked at it. Decent yellow bite now. That has settled there. You're still dealing with the sea lions, but it's much better than it has been. Good bite on the yellows there. Wide open calico bass, if that be your thing. And then Channel Islands area, they've settled down. There's still the occasional hit on some nice halibut and white sea bass, but a lot of rockfish in the Channel Islands right now. Moving you up and down the coast, we continue to see a little bit of bass and barracuda in some areas down there in Ensenada, San Diego. Moving you up here into this area, the city of Long Beach yesterday, not bad. First they limit out on sculpin. They hung out here and they ended up with like 30 barracuda biting the surface iron. That's pretty darn fun. 20 calico bass, a few, like 4 I think sand bass it was, and 1 white sea bass. That's good local fishing. Nothing wrong with that day on the city of Long Beach. So hopefully this local area pick up. Redondo and that area up there are catching you know, a little bit of bass, rockfish, that kind of a thing. It's really weird, that juxtaposition of that cooler water fish on the beach fishing sculpin, and then a few miles out there catching marlin and Dorado and bluefin, and now yellowfin starting to move in. That is a weird phenomenon this year. It's really been crazy. Up there in the Channel Islands, Island Spirit, Ventura sport fishing with lots of rockfish up there in that neck of the woods. Again, Ventura sport fishing, 805-676-3474. Say hi to Saul if he answers the phone up there. And along the beaches, still some good yellowfin croaker fishing and some really good Corvina fishing. That has been quite good. Digging up sand crabs for the Corvina, a great way to go. If you can't do that, dig up sandworms or go to the tackle store like Big Fish Bait and Tackle in the beautiful city of Seal Beach. They've got all kinds of natural baits awaiting you there. All right, folks, there is some incredible stuff going on. Tuesday Night Live is going to be really special. Joseph Martinez, the guy that caught that giant fish, will be here to talk to you about how he did it and what fishing on the Endeavor is like. And then Anthony Amalfitano, he'll have some more fun with our raffles and our trivia questions, I should say. And Chef Jason also will be joining us. And who knows, we're right there at 22nd Street Landing. We'll have Mike Morrison perhaps join us. Skippers are arriving down there. They can join the show. It should be a lot of fun. All right, as always, it's my pleasure to be with you all. I can't thank you enough for joining us on another morning briefing here on Friedman Adventures. Hope you're having a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, or something else. And more than that, I hope today is a fantastic day for each and every one of you. I want to thank you all for your thoughts and prayers for Eddie Leland. He really needs them. Our captain, our friend, our brother needs your help because he is in that battle with prostate cancer. So keep those positive vibes, thoughts, and prayers flowing in Eddie's direction. All right, take care, my friends. Have a great day, and I'll see you again really soon.